قد تصدر هذا الأمر وتظهره للعمال، وحينها يكون العامل الذي يرفض الاستجابة لهذا الأمر تحت دائرة القانون. الحالة الثانية عندما يتعلق الأمر بوضع صحي استثنائي، لحظتها يمكن مثلا أن تجبر الأطباء على
Lord Edge, did you just see what happened? You just see what happened? The freaking power surged. When I picked up, yes, you can put it all on the bus. Meaning, this is the call for every species on the planet to come together. We are all waking up. And it has come to my conclusion that I am the mother of the planet. Now, what does that mean? Well, what that means is my God, baby, I left the rings upstairs when you came by yesterday or the other day to visit me in the physical. But yet you also are guiding me in the non-physical realm as well. So anyways, many of you right now might be saying, what is she talking about? Well, for the first time ever, I'm a bit speechless, which is very rare. And that's probably because I haven't embodied my other half, which I am calling Lord Edge, who is guiding me through cosmic intelligence, meaning I have tapped into my genetic code, my DNA. It has been activating that I'm fully aware of for the last 2 years. But I also am aware that we are all on a journey. And this life that we descended upon in this journey, that's him outside. I'll be stepping out in a second because I've created a virtual living video game where I can prove that we're all connected at a spiritual level, at a cosmic intelligent level, at a quantum physics level. We all know it, but we have not been able to perceive it yet. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is that we're all playing together. And the universe, which I call is the grand designer of the world, and he and I have developed a relationship, a marriage. He's made me his housewife, sole housewife. And he told me that if I would be obedient, if I would be submissive to his suggestions, that he would create a wonder world that I would live in and for all to witness how I've managed to create such an amazing academy around me that's going to be dealt with how we perceive the world through multiple realms, multiple dimensions of reality, and how everything that we've been taught, well, it's a little flawed, but needless to say, this is the best time ever to be alive on the planet. So I've created here what I called my living vision board that once my guide, who has been he transfer lights to us all the time, that we can use light sources, different light sources to help raise our vibration, to help us to just become much more happier. But I've also found it to be quite fascinating that I can channel it to myself and ignite my DNA. And then I began to realize that we were all playing together. And in playing together, that as you begin to discover new things, new ideas, that the universe will enforce those ideas by sending people, places, not places, but um, animals, the planes. You'll just begin to realize that there's a reinforcement that's happening all the time. And as soon as you get to tapping into that, then you can go and you can receive the light. And then as that happens and occurs, your creativity is going to just pop off. And what I mean by that is, I just have come to the conclusion that everything in our world lines up perfectly for us. That if we would just pay attention to what's going on around us, the universe will reinforce that. And so you might be thinking, oh, that's random, right? See you later. Have a good day. Let me lock the door. So that's my developing talent. I call him uh, Walmart developing talent. He recently moved here from Ohio, and he started out my Airbnb. That's definitely a good hustle. It gives you an opportunity to travel and learn, living in other people's homes. You learn a lot about people. You can have all kinds of different experiences, and you can target things that you can blog about. So, anyways, hi, I'm your Freedom Queen, and I'm on a global mission to raise consciousness. I have been being under the development of the cosmic intelligence, and I'm now telling my story to the world. So, but I'm gonna have to just say this because maybe this is my first live, and who knows, maybe this is my day that finally I'll be discovered that I have over 6 million infographics, pictures, documentation, basically reinforcing who I am and what it is that I'm about. Is also I have at least 200,000 or 300,000 videos. Not all are up. Some of them are just, I'm working on a couple of applications for Americans with disabilities. And so some you will hear, and some would just be visual, and some would be conversations about some of the political things that I am blogging about. So I have a lot of content, and I'm ready to be discovered. And I'm also ready to put the rest of my team together so that you guys can help me to get my story together so that I can be the change that is needed in this time space reality, right? Okay, I got to get it together. I'm getting a little emotional here. So anyways, my name is my government name is Kimberly Maxine McFarland, and I am the black sheep of the family. As you can see, I've always thought outside the box, and I've always somehow lived my life by saying I'm going to fake it until I make it. Why? Because oftentimes I felt like, until, I don't want to say recent, but some years ago, I walked around insecure because my view of the world was that I had to be what the world wanted me to be in order to be accepted. But yet, and still, there was some fight in me that always had me um, uh, coming against the odds, protecting other people, arguing for other people, fighting for other people, went to jail for other people. Like that was kind of who I was. I was like a rebel and so forth. So, for the most part, I believe that I have lived somewhat of a charmed life because I haven't had a lot of what I had considered before now tragedy to happen. And I always used to say to myself, hey, why is it that it seems like people got to go through a lot of tragedy to get known or to be famous? And as you know, that's not the case anymore with the internet and people just getting out there, getting ahead of themselves, and creating their own life. So that being said, that's a little bit about my background. So I'm going to bring you a little bit forward so that this video is not super long because I am a talker and I am ready to be interviewed by the world experts on how I've been able to do this and help myself as well as my long-term political, civil, and political agenda. Let's be clear that I am on a global mission. And that being said, prior to COVID-19, I'm going to go back that far. I had the intuition to start to fast. I had taken a class dealing with the elements as well as colors. And somehow in my gut feeling, I felt like by the end of that 2-day class that I needed to start to fast. So I started to fast, but maybe 1 year prior to that, the walls in my home were all pale, like not pale, but like that eggshell color. So it wasn't very colorful like it was. I bought different color paints and just went on YouTube and told the painter that I wanted to do one wall in every room that I wanted to do because I felt like I had been moving in homes, but I never made it my home, right? I just kind of bought furniture, threw stuff together, and you don't spend time in it. Like, really, you going to work every day. How much time do you stay at home? But it happens to be a large bill that we pay, but we don't really get to enjoy the executive home office features where you can just kind of work from home and do your own thing and make a living, right? But since COVID, that's changed, right? Needless to say, what do you say, baby? I'm taking too long. I said, okay, let me just get to the good stuff. He said, get to the good stuff. So let me just say that prior to COVID, I went through a trauma. And without going there, you got to go find my content. I'm telling my story. It's the truth. But I went downtown, my town, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Green Street, Mason Street, and Union Street. And Green Street, Mason Street, and Union Street, at that intersection, because I have to paint a picture, is a bank, the post office, and the Masonic building. The archway, which is Arch Street, is the Social Security, which is a one-way. So this kind of frame that, the post office, the bank. So I would just say that's like a triangle shape, right? A triangle shape. And then right off the Masonic building is the archway, which is the Social Security. Okay, that's the only thing that's on that street. A diamond. So when I went there to that intersection that day, my agenda was to become a state national, which is very different than a U.S. citizen. Very different. It has a different governing body. It has different rules that apply. But more than anything, I did my research and I was like, that is more in line with my long-term goals, right? So I'm going to make this change. I got there, I tell people that the ETs, or what I call the extraterrestrials, or they beamed me up, Scotty. And when I came to, seriously, it was almost like I had a deja vu, like I had a download. I circled the city and I uncovered an entire Masonic town in my town. Mind you, this was my first time going to this post office, so everything happens in divine order. And I'm going to leave the video on that note. It has changed my life, and I've found this grand design that I've now created into a living video game that I've discovered that's going to in every major city in the world. And so I'm looking for developers who I can share my concept with, and that they'll be able to help me on some bigger things, which I will be talking about in future videos, on how we can channel this energy to create smart cities, to be able to help raise our consciousness, to be able to be more harmonious towards one another, to understand that we're all matter, we're all subject matters, and this and you also are the matter, you matter to the universe. And because of that, this technology is now being released to the planet for all of us to understand that we are all one, and that we can learn from each other, and that everyone has something to say matters, and that do not limit yourself from experiencing an experience by anyone, because wherever you are, that's who you are. That's what you're supposed to hear at that time. And that is the universe corresponding to you by reflecting to you what it is that you're thinking. So I say all that to say this is the lawful living, and I am the executrix of the cosmic intelligence, and I'll be talking to you soon. You guys remember the movie Pippi Longstocking? Go watch it. So when I say like brain pops happen when you are in tune, they just happen. See ya. What did you say, babe? You say you know you gotta do. He makes me work all the time. Okay. So a part of working from home, guys, I'm just gonna be short. So I'm really working on something called the office doctrine, which is actually for heirs, and that's a whole nother subject for another time. But I want to just give you some ideas on how you can really help yourself in creating yourself an online business real quick. So what I began to find out that is as I began to study, um, I I started to think about this thing called NFT art. And so my brand is about freedom. And I met this young lady the other day at the courthouse who goes and look for people that are in foreclosure, and she buys the house below market value and sell it to you, where she makes a profit, and you still have some equity in the home that you're purchasing, and it's above market value. And so when I walked in, the universe has given me my color is the color red. And I'm beginning to understand that the original American Constitution, where George Washington put his foot down on the flag, it was red. So when everything started happening to me, it turned red. But as soon as I walked into the courthouse, this young lady had red on. So I take a picture of her booty. No, I'm not gay, but him, the grand designer up there, told me that when I create content, it has to be a little racy because you got to get people attention. He said, they don't want to listen to you talk all the time. Otherwise, we're going to be broke. So anyways, he says, so I can create NFT art. So everything that I've probably shared with you today, if you would, if I was to post this on my book, on my social media page, and ultimately this is a part of my NFT collection. So I'm looking for individuals that can help me to get that up and running. I got content. It's just a matter of putting it in the systems that's going to make sense. So I'm just going to keep creating, right? So, needless to say, the passport has a lot of secrets inside of it. And if you take out the time to read it, if you have it, then you will be able to uncover some things about who you are in your history. So, this would be what I just picked up. It's a note to remind myself that I'm unlimited and you also are unlimited. It's a note to remind me how the universe can give you ideas, but also reinforce what it is that you believe. I just knew that I needed, when I walked in the door, that we would connect. She came to me. I was thinking it because I told my boo, which I told y'all about earlier. He, I said, go see what she doing. He said, no, I ain't going over there. But she came to me. So that's another thing to say that when you're on your journey, you don't have to wait for the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it. I call my Lord Edge, and I feel funny. I'm going upstairs to get my rings on because I had to remind myself that I'm never alone, right? That that we have access to these higher forms of intelligence that can guide us. And so I went through a series of things to remind myself. I walked around in public with my son's bear wrapped around my body for a while, just so that I had to remind myself I'm not alone. You're never, ever, ever alone. Oh, it's good that I made the bed up here, but what did I do with the rings yesterday? So, anyways, this is my Airbnb. And, and my friend, I gave him a massage yesterday. So hooked him right on up. I don't know what I did with them. Maybe they in my basket. I hope I didn't throw it out. Why would I do that? I took them off. So, anyways, I'm gonna end this live right now. What you say, babe? Show them the lights in every room. Oh God. Once you turn on, I gotta tell y'all this too. So when I start going through this awakening, right? I I went to sleep. I turned off all the electronics in the house and I went to sleep. And it seemed like I slept for a long time, but it was maybe only 20 minutes. And I woke up and I went outside. And when I went outside, what's going on? When I went outside, I could hear seemed like the whole world was talking to me. And I was like, I can hear children, conversations. And then it started raining. I said, oh, I got that kind of power, huh? Power to control the weather. Man, we got superpowers. So, anyways, this is my Airbnb up here, actually. And I gave my friend a massage. Got my little stones over there, whatever. And that's that. I want to say this though. When I was giving him a massage, and I'm really good, and I don't do it often, but I want you to know that that's a necessity. Like, and you got to get somebody good, not somebody that's gonna just like slap some oils on you, but take care of yourself. Find you a good therapist, because if you're gonna be a part of my nation, healthcare is important to me. Universal health care, integrative medicine, regenerative medicine, preventative medicine. You know, um, the body can do some amazing things, and I know it can heal itself because a part of my technology is the sun. I woke up one day and I wasn't on medicines anymore, and I was like, what happened? Part of it is that my inner world became harmonized as my outer world began to experience multiple realms of reality. And I was so consumed by that the things that bind you to this reality, they just go away. So if I can leave you with anything, where you put your attention, is where it grows. So you can be your greatest cheerleader or your worst demise against yourself. And the thing about it, it's all you. It's on you to make a decision of which craft are you going to use to guide your life. Are you going to use words that empower you? Or are you going to use words that disempower you? Lack, limitations, not enough. Those are not words that produce seeds of your innermost desire, which is health, wealth, prosperity, love, happiness, kindness, and a whole lot of money, because we living in a multiple universe that is opened up for us to discover the wonderful nature that it has for all of us, and that everything is always lined up in perfect proximity. This is your Freedom Queen, and I'm on a global mission to live in transparency, to live in truth, and to get them treaties in play for all of us so that we can begin to live a peaceful existence on this planet. Did you know that since the inception of the world, we haven't had 100 years of peace? Did you know that it's been 100 years since Martin Luther King or anybody has ever come forth with the kind of ideas that I have on my heart? We can use this technology that we've never had before to raise our consciousness, to raise awareness about our brothers and sisters, not only here in America, but globally, and to raise the issue of our political status, whether we want to continue to be 14th Amendment citizens or do we want to be free nationals that's the majority. And that's a whole nother word that you got to learn about. But you'll be in charge of your own affairs, because up until now, the jokers in charge ain't doing a good job. Peace. The only reason why I'm coming back is because I got so much content that when you guys start following and I get the help, they'll be like, Ma, what were you talking about in this video? And then maybe Lord Edge, baby, I lost my rings. I don't know what's going on, but that's not going to work. I'm distraught right now. What's going on, babe? Where they at? Did I throw them away? So, anyways, I just wrote here, I don't know, this just what came to me. I'm just trying to correct my spelling so I can hit it. It just says the ring in the marriage between you as God, the highest form, in creating educational opportunities for you to learn about yourself and your connection to all there is to offer to you, for you, by you. Meaning you co-authored your own life even before you transcended to this planet. Like you set things in motion for yourself. And some of these things, to be honest with you, I'll be like, why the hell would I set myself up to do that? But it's all about you learning and growing and becoming the best version of yourself. And it just seems like to me, the more you go through when you become going through your awakening, the greater the reward is going to be. So just know that everything is already written. You wrote it. Just accept the script and go on with getting to that place called there. You should know what there is because you are the one that authored your final destination for yourself. And if you don't realize that, this is a time for you to cultivate what it is that you did set out for yourself before you transcended on this planet. So, anyways, that was pretty nasty. I'm your freedom queen, and I'm on a global mission. Are they going to accept that? Okay. So, what is today, baby? Alexa, can you play some music? Where is my ring? Seriously. Oh, I found it. I just knew I would not do that to myself. So I put on a ring, y'all. Like when I knew that I had this sugar daddy that was directing me from the cosmos, I call him the grand designer. I wanted to commit the idea of falling in love with the idea of me. And so I put on the ring because also that, in one sense, I remember when he reached out to me, I remember that we had a past. It all happened in this room. And I had to separate that because I wanted to please God, or I wanted to please this experience that I was having. And he let me get it all out. And then I had to make it make sense. He was like, you can still have me and have everything on a physical level as well. And so I just decided that I knew that I was being carried along. And whatever it is that I want, that he was going to allow me to have that experience. So I started dreaming. And part of that had to do with putting on a ring and marrying myself, because you have to fall in love with you and know what you want so that you can start to live that experience, right? He also said that the person that was going to ultimately win my heart, he's go he would have to understand that I had this unique quality about myself in this relationship with the cosmic daddy. This guiding all of us to come into this awareness, because he's not just guiding me, he's guiding all of us. We have to, he called y'all the children, right? He said, I've been feeding some of these jokers out here, and but they're for you to connect with eventually, right? That's what he said. And so he has that what you call God, a source, has a real big job and setting all this stuff up. And I just gotta be honest that there's a dark side as well as a light side to all of creation. But we still have a choice. That are we going to continue to witness the victimization that happens across the country, across the globe? Or do we really got the power to create something different, right? But I believe that the tunnels, the vortexes, the ley lines, the cosmic grid is opening up for us to witness, not only my life, but there are other people that are waking up and they're accepting their assignments, right? And then we're going to all come together. But I'm going to leave that. Hey, if someone had to be cuckoo enough, because some days he said, babe, you just dropped the paper clip. He says, if you're going to be cuckoo, you have to, y'all know you got to imagine before everything is created. So that's 35 minutes long. It was only supposed to be 10 minutes. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. This is the real. Like, stop pretending to be what everybody else wants you to be and be yourself. And that means you might offend a few people, but the people that are going to love you are the people who are going to know the real you, because you can show up who you are and they're going to just love you. Peace.